we have made it. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from Flatwoods, West Virginia. And now, if you're interested in cryptids, the paranormal, you all definitely know what Flatwoods, West Virginia is. It all says it in the sign. Welcome to Flatwoods, West Virginia, home of the Green Monster. If you all are familiar with the story, it happened September 12th, 1952. The May brothers were playing football in their yard when they saw a blue flash of light falling from the sky. Now the brothers, they didn't know what to think of this, but it stuck out to them. They really didn't know what to think, so they went to their mother, Kathleen May. Kathleen, she got a gentleman who was in the Army National Guard that was with them at the time. They took another son, I believe it was her son, or I believe it was the brother, or the friend of the May brothers, Eric Hunley, and they went to go find this mysterious ball of light. Now, in the trajectory of this ball of light, it will lead them to an area on the Fisher farm. Now the Fisher farm, it is not all that far from the May family farm. So they went up to the hill where this big giant ball of fire was seen crashing into the hillside, a blue ball of fire. They came up to it with their flashlight, and there were two big red eyes that peered back at them. Now at first, these people, they thought that what they were seeing was an owl. But it wasn't an owl. They realized that this creature stood about 10 feet tall. Some accounts 12 feet tall. It had a long, slingular metal body, and it emitted this very strange odor. Kathleen May and the May brothers, they described this foul odor, this mist, as very sickening. In fact, it made them so sick that they wound up in the hospital nearby. Now, as this all caused a stir, this led to a lot of other search parties going out in Flatwoods, West Virginia, trying to find this mysterious creature. The local sheriff, he was called in, but he couldn't find anything. The sheriffs, they could not find anything. They kind of thought that maybe what they were seeing was an owl with big red eyes. And you have to think, this was September 12th, 1952. This was in the heart of the Cold War era. And everything was about space. You know, we were in a conflict, an arms race between Russia and us to see who could go to space first. So I can honestly see why the sight of this creature was so scary. But yet there was another sighting. Just about 2 weeks later, there was a woman and her husband. They were going down the road leading to another town in West Virginia. Their car shut down. They couldn't get it to restart. And there, descending from the darkness, was this same creature that the May brothers, Kathleen May, and the other men saw that night, the other kids. So, it appeared, disappeared. Their car started working again. Well, this is the primary story of what happened with the Flatwoods monster. And today, guys, since we are in Flatwoods, West Virginia, we're gonna check out some things. We're gonna go to the Flatwoods Monster Museum, which actually is not in Flatwoods. It is in the next town over, which is can't remember the name. Sutton, there we go. And now we could go to the property where this creature was spotted. By the way, I forgot to mention that this creature supposedly set a tree on fire, and this was a big topic on 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 a show on the History Channel. I can't quite remember the name of the show, but that particular property, that is on a private property. It's kind of hard to get back to. It's one lane. But I was talking to the owner of the Flatwoods Monster Museum, but the best way you can see the hill, the location where all this happened, is right behind an auto center, a mechanic shop. And on the other end of the road, there will be a small parking lot. And this is it. This is about as close as we're going to get to where the sighting happened. It was on this hill right here. But strangely enough, it's not all that far from where the sign is going into town. So just think, that's where it all happened, up on that hilltop right there. And here it is. Here is the Flatwoods Monster Museum. Probably, you could say, the top expert, or the top place of experience for this story that still seems to haunt the Flatwoods area. Now, strangely enough, this museum is not in Flatwoods, but instead it is here in nearby Sutton. Sutton is only like 2 minutes outside of Flatwoods, so I guess you could say, I mean, they're practically, they're, in a way, they're almost one and the same. But look at the size of this Braxy right here. By the way, if you all did not know, Braxy is the nickname for the Flatwoods Monster. How it got its name is because it was in Braxton County. But here is the artist's rendition of what those people saw that night. And from what I hear, probably one of the most collectible things you can get here at the Braxton, or the Flatwoods Monster Museum, is this vase thing right here. And you know what? Today I might actually buy one, just because I am now at the place where the second most talked about cryptid in West Virginia, and even the United States, is. So anyway, guys, let's go inside, shall we? And right as we walk inside, we have a very large statue of Braxy, the Flatwoods Monster. Now, I don't think this is a one-to-one life-size replica or life-size statue, but in the reports by the Army Reserve gentleman, the lady who took her sons and the two brothers that came up to see the monster, or where this supposed giant ball of blue light that fell from the sky, they said that the creature stood about 10 feet tall and it hovered. And this one, I'd probably say, is about maybe 7-8 feet. I'd probably say about 7-8 feet. And it does hover just a little bit. And I kind of like how this museum is a little bit smaller than the Mothman Museum. It's way more homely. But you gotta think, this creature was only sighted 2 times in this entire hysteria, or this entire situation that caused a hysteria. Of course, one being on the hill in the Fisher farm, the other being spotted by the couple on the road. And they say that this mysterious creature, it caused the car to shut down. In fact, here are some photos from the site. These photos are taken in the 1990s on the property and was once Bailey Fisher Farm in Flatwoods, West Virginia. These scans were made by Gray Baker Archive, located in Clarksburg Harrison Public Library. Thanks to Les Dell providing these scans. So, anyway, you can see where the burns happened. The tree right there where this creature where they say that this creature burned the tree. That's another interesting story too, because the same gas that made them sick when these people went to the hospital, the doctors also claimed that they had some type of small amounts of radiation sickness. So whatever this thing was, it emitted radioactivity. And of course, sometime later on the actual property, this was on Monster Quest back in the early 2000s, but the place where the supposed creature burned this tree, it still had radioactivity in it. And look at this work right here. Very much reminiscent to the 1960s. In a way, I think maybe too, that's what kind of stirred up the idea that this Flatwoods monster was in the shape of a shuttle or a spaceship of some sort, because the space race was going on, between Russia and the United States. The Cold War was going on, because throughout history they say that the sightings of the Flatwoods monster, there are discrepancies on what the head looked like going down to its body. But the thing that all the witnesses said about the Flatwoods monster is it had big red eyes. Its skin was rather scaly, but its face and its body lit up like a big green or a big red light, and it glowed, like savagely glowed. And in fact, many of the people said that the Flatwoods monster had a spade-shaped head, much like this one. So anyway, just so interesting that a lot of eyewitnesses said this is what they saw, even though there were disagreements on what the body looked like going down, but the head was all the same. By the way, look at this artist's rendering of what happened that night. That is freaky. Here's a display case. So got some books on the Flatwoods monster. We got a letter right there. International Association of Rebecca Assemblies. And there is a picture of Kathleen May. And Kathleen May, she was the woman that took her sons along with the National Guard soldier who went up with them. But anyway, we've got some pictures right here. Here's her again. And I think she passed away a few years back. That is an awesome sword. Tonto is custom ordered from the made by Handband Forge. Strange, the uncanny, the incredible. Ooh. And anyway, there's Kathleen May with the beast. So this sighting has so many strange things about it. Like, there are things that might suggest it was a hoax, but then there are also things that suggest it was very much real. Because how do you explain radioactivity, being emitted from the site where the thing was seen? By the way, that is a big Flatwoods monster rendering. And it looks like here in the museum, they also have a few Halloween costumes. Looks like some of these actually won the best in Braxton County. But it is evident, even to this day, that Braxie is very well loved. Let's see, the Flatwoods monster costume left was hand-assembled by a local youth theater group and found store-bought items. This was used in early 2000s in a play which retold the story in the sighting that took place in 1952. I think 1962. I think that's a typo. Dude, that is a very, very large costume. And very, very well put together, might I say. Now you all can tell the Flatwoods monster has also been a major part of pop culture. Huh. Oh, so I was wrong then. The thing actually stood about 12 feet tall, or 12 feet tall from where it was hovering to the tree line. But as I was saying, the Flatwoods monster has played a major role in pop culture, much like its cousin the Mothman. And that's the cool thing about West Virginia. Like, its cryptid stories are like none other. And I would probably even go to say that West Virginia is the cryptid capital of the U.S. Audra Harper, and there are the boys that saw it, all these guys that saw it. Anyway, they were playing football out in a nearby farm right next to the Fisher farm, right as when they saw that big blue fireball that fell from the sky. And now that is creepy. Now, some people often say that that the Flatwoods monster was reptilian in nature, which, I mean, that has gone into a couple of eyewitness accounts, which I guess if you're looking at that, I mean, very similar in sightings. Braxy, look what they did with the that's funny. They have like Nirvana, and they have the Flatwoods monster. Oh, now this is cool. This right here is a piece of wood from the tree where the monster was seen in September 12th of 1952. That is cool. This is from the tree. Look at all the various other renderings of the Flatwoods monster. That is so cool. And being here in person, this is just so awesome. Now, I was mentioning that one of the cool things known about the museum and Flatwoods is they have these really awesome Flatwoods monster vases, like this one right here. And this just goes to show how they're made. You know, they're made with, I believe it would be a mold. Things would be, ceramics would be poured into it. And there, you would get a Braxy. Something like this. Like a shot glass for $4. Actually, that's not too bad. And we have some more right here. One of John Gibson. And we also have one, display here from left to right, John Gibson, circa 1971, holding one of the now famous Flatwood monster lanterns with his civic group. The J.C. sold to fund the first kindergarten program in the county. An original lantern from the late 1960s to early 1970s, on loan from the Ware family. So that's cool. That's one thing that I forgot. They used these lanterns to fund to build a kindergarten. That's pretty awesome, if you ask me. Look, they have a sign from one of the signs going into Flatwoods. That's one of the cool things. Like, every time that you see one of these in the Flatwoods community, like entering it, says home of the Flatwoods monster. Or, in other words, the home of the Grand Monster. And here are a picture of the May boys. The boys who saw what originally started this whole story. This whole sighting, this whole story that is still lingered in Appalachian culture to this day. There's a picture of Kathleen May again. There, Neil Nunley and Tom Hare. I believe Neil was the other boy that went with them. Proclamation by Governor Earl Ray Tomlin. Whereas West Virginia is rich in culture, legends, mysterious creatures around the state, locals share tales of eerie spirits and beings that call these hills home. It looks like that is a proclamation of Braxton County Monster Day. There's Audra Harper. Now, I believe Audra Harper, she was the lady who saw the second sighting when her and her husband went out on the road and things got shut down. Strangely enough, after the creature disappeared, Car started working again. Talk about strange. And anyway, I did not realize that they were about 12 inches, well, or at least it says in the story. Huh. Reporters question Flatwoods Mayor Glenn Cochran and Eldridge W. Poulin on MC. Huh. Interesting. Some more stuff right there. Oh, and that's cool. Anyway, that's another cool thing that we're going to check out here later, is here in Flatwoods there is also a series of chairs throughout the county of Braxton County. I don't think we're going to visit all of them, but I think we're going to check out quite a bit of them today since we are here in Flatwoods. And this is awesome. Look how they have like these different types of seats and chairs you can sit in. I think this may have actually came from a restaurant. Yeah, it came out of a restaurant. Check this out. Here is what is probably a 1 to 500 scale of the sighting site. Got everybody right there. Up on the hill, you've got Braxy, the monster that stands at least 12 feet tall, or at least by hovering. And this is cool. I don't know, like, whoever Kayla Hefner is, that is a really, really cool display. And that's cool. Okay, now that I know that they are for sale, I'm going to get one. Now that was worth it. I mean, it was a little bit expensive, but I mean, just the story behind the lanterns, the Flatwoods Monster Lanterns, that was cool. But now that we've seen the museum, let's go into Flatwoods once more and let's check out these chairs. You know what? I probably should not have parked there, but it's like 5 in the afternoon on a weekday. I really should have parked here. I like how it says reserved for monster visitors. But yes, another life goal has been achieved. I got myself a Braxy lantern. Gotta think, I mean, I really bought it because of the history behind it, you know, and that it's just, if you're in Flatwoods, West Virginia, owning one or buying one is a must. And having said that, we have come to the very first chair. Let's see, for more Flatwoods Monster info, visit Braxy.com. But I'll tell you, that is a really cool chair. Or seat, yeah, chair. Let me see. Welcome to the town of Flatwoods Municipal Building. That right over there is the municipal building. But I cannot for the life of me remember the May brothers' names. Although I did see it at the museum, so that did finally help. And Kathleen's name. But check out this really awesome seat. Now, I don't know how many are here in Flatwoods. Like I said, we'll probably find another one. But I really wanted to see the seat, or one of the seats. That's so epic. It's all fiery and like it's peering into my soul. And look at how these hands are carved. Again, another great bit of showmanship. So I think I am gonna sit down for a second just to say I sat on the first chair going into the building, or going into Flatwoods. I'm surprised like how all of it is like right together in just like one big cluster. Plus it feels good just to sit down. My back has been hurting me here lately. I really love how Flatwoods, West Virginia has really taken a liking to the creature that put it on the map. There are some photo ops, but I think I'm going to I don't think I'm going to go and do it this round. I mostly just stopped because it's like right down the street from the first seat. But the reason why this photo op is out here is there is also a restaurant themed after the Flatwoods Monster called The Spot. The Spot. And I think it's mostly a pizza and ice cream place. I think it's closed right now, but it might just be that it's off season. But it's got ice cream, it's got hot dogs, wings, so it's got like a lot of stuff you can eat. Well, I don't know, maybe this will have to be another trip for another day, because I don't know, I think I might end up coming back here. And speaking of that, you guys, I think I'm not going to look after the other chairs. That first one was really awesome. I don't know how many are here in Flatwoods, and plus I got to get back home. Well, when I say home, I got to get back to the condo in West Jefferson. I'm a little bit tired. This has been a fun 2-day trip. Starting out in Nettleburg, West Virginia, the ghost town, and now ending here in Flatwoods, West Virginia. This has been a really fun birthday road trip. But anyway, we got a couple of more stops. But love you all very much. Remember, you guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care. Now y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over.